What's up everyone, welcome to Heroes Avenue. My name is Darren and today is our ranking video of the year where I rank all the movies, all the comic book movies that came out of 2019 and I put them on a list. And I'm only going to be ranking the movies that I personally watched, and I only watched like 6 of them. Obviously there are more movies that came out that are comic book related, like Hellboy, The Kitchen, I guess you could count Glass because it's kind of comic booky, right? But I only watched 6 of them, and I'll just start with number 6. And again, if you guys have your own list already made up, let me know in the comments below, and maybe in our next video or in our next read in the comments video, we will read your guys' list. All right. So let me start with number 6, which will be Dark Phoenix from the Fox studio. And obviously this is the lowest since I'm ranking this out of 6 movies. This is the last movie on my list. Because Dark Phoenix was not entertaining to me at all. Obviously, I mean, honestly, like I watched it at my house, and I kind of like was doing things while I was like watching the movie, so I wasn't engaged. And the story was very basic. I thought how Jean, got the Phoenix powers was very. I feel like it's very cliche, and it wasn't different from what we saw in Last Stand, and it was, it wasn't as well thought out as I thought it would be, because I thought they learned from the Last Stand of X-Men 3, and of course they didn't, because Simon Kinberg, I think that's the director, that was like his directorial debut, which completely bombed on his part. And so yeah, it's the lowest part on my list. I'm ranking it on my number 6 spot. And so let's move on further to number 5, which is Captain Marvel. So this movie did not exceed my expectations. I thought this movie was gonna kill it. I thought it was gonna blow me away because of all the hype after Infinity War. But it was very self-contained, and it didn't, go past my expectations just because of the story. I thought the story was very. I thought it was a good story, but it didn't blow me away for some reason. It didn't have that epic value to it that all the all the hype was given in Infinity War. And of course, Brie Larson is a big part of that. I mean, during the trailers I didn't like her acting, but of course when I watched the movie, her acting made sense, and I liked it a little bit more. She's not the greatest, but I thought she was very convincing. And of course, I love the dynamic between her and Nick Fury, and the Skrull twist was kind of resembled like the twist in Iron Man 3 just a little bit, but I thought it was well executed. I thought it really I was convinced that the Skrulls were good aliens, and so. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be more power centric. I thought she was gonna just destroy everyone with her brute strength, and I thought she was gonna just fly around and just kick butt. But that was my expectation, just because of all the hype that Infinity War was building, and then when we saw her in Endgame, she didn't really do much. So yeah. So I hope Captain Marvel 2, when the sequel does come out, is better than the first one. But to me, I'm going to keep that on my number 5 spot of this list. So let's go into number 4, which is Shazam, Billy Batson and Shazam. So this movie is coming at number 4. It may be a surprise to a lot of you DC fans out there, just because I know a lot of you guys love it. It could be your number 1 or number 2 spot, but I feel like the other movies that came out is a lot stronger, just personally. I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie. I love the office scene. I thought the office scene was scary and well executed. I thought the CGI was great. I thought the Shazam family was a dream come true as a comic book fan. Asher, I think that's the name, Asher, right? Asher Angel, there you go. I thought he was a great Billy Batson. Zachary Levi, perfect. Shazam, I loved him. Story-wise was great. But I realized, I loved it. I walked out of the theater loving it, but I didn't go back to the movie to rewatch it. And that really tells a lot to me on how much I really like the movie. I even bought the movie, and I don't find myself, watching that movie over and over. I probably only watched like maybe 2 or 3 times after I bought it. All the other movies I'm just keep rewatching and rewatching, and I feel like rewatch value is a big part of how much you really like a movie. I mean, you could walk out of a movie, out of the movie theater, and you say like, oh yeah, I love that movie, but then would you buy it? Then it's like, if you wouldn't buy it, then it's like, maybe you didn't love it as much as you thought you would. That's just me. That's just how I perceive my ranking and how much I view my likeness to movies on a scale is determined how much I would rewatch this movie. So again, don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but I just wouldn't rewatch as much as I would with the other movies on this list. Again, I never thought this movie would come out. Seeing Shazam is one of my favorite superheroes, and you know, when I first heard it was announced, I thought it was one of those rumors that would never come into fruition at all. So I'm really glad that we got it, and I'm so excited for the sequel and also Black Adam. So let's go ahead and move on to number 3 on this list, and it's going to be Spider-Man: Far From Home. And oh my gosh, I love this movie. If you guys watched my review, I went home and I just shot a video because I was so hyped, and I was just so like full of energy and full of love for this movie, and how much it I love the twist, I love the Mysterio scenes, and I loved how like we didn't know what was real, what was fake, and I love that aspect of it. And I felt like the director, he really knocked it out of the park with this one. I mean, making Mysterio a convincing character, a relatable character in the MCU universe, man, he did it right. He killed it. And I mean, a shout out to him. And I really saw like Peter Parker in Tom Holland's performance. Like, I felt like he matured from Homecoming, and you see that in Far From Home, and he does it so well. And I watched this movie, talk about rewatch value, I watched this movie so many times ever since I bought it, and so that shows me how much I love it. So yeah, I freaking love this movie. I mean, for me, 10 out of 10. I don't care what anyone says, 10 out of 10. I love this movie, it's perfect. I think Tom Holland is, I feel like every time they recast Peter Parker, I feel like each actor gets better. I think Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire is much better than Andrew Garfield, but I think Tom Holland is a lot better. That may be debatable. I'm gonna throw that into the universe, so come at me if you guys want, but I think Tom Holland is Peter Parker. I truly love him so much. So let's go ahead and move on to number 2. All right, so number 2 spot, you guys might be mad, you guys might be agreeing with me, but number 2 spot will be the Joker. All right, so Joker takes the cake for number 2. You know, walking out of the theater, I felt you know, happy, you know, kind of awkward, and I felt like I was morally conflicted, and I felt like, man, I just felt mind blown just because of how much this movie affected me outside of the theater. And that tells you a lot about how much you really like this movie and how much you really love it, right? And so I truly love you know, the care and the research that Todd Phillips did, and especially Joaquin Phoenix, and how much time he put into building this character, and how much method acting, you know, on, you know, kind of off screen. He didn't do too much method acting, but or method research for, you know, playing Arthur Fleck, but he did keep that journal that everyone keeps talking about on like how, you know, which helped him like develop his Joker persona and Arthur Affleck persona as well. And I just loved how it was shot, the cinematography, the story, the build-up, and the rise of the Joker. It was just perfectly timed well. Pacing was perfect. And yeah, I mean, I came back, I mean, talking about rewatch value, I came back just watching it one time, or I think I watched it twice after, and I enjoyed it every time. So I'm excited for this movie to come out in DVD or in digital, for me to buy it. I can't wait for, you know, the special features to come out of this movie, because I'm gonna just eat it all up. And so yeah, this takes number 2 spot, and number 1 is going to be Avengers Endgame. And just because of how, oh my god, I can't even put it into words. I was mind blown from this movie. I know a lot of people like didn't like it, thought it was complete trash, maybe because of the whole time travel stuff. But I felt like it was a really great build up to what we got in the 3rd act. The 1st act was great. You know, it completely leaves off of when we last saw the Avengers in Infinity War and how broken they were. And then it just, I felt like it was made so well. The Russo brothers, man, they are an iconic directors. They're really building up their filmography, and it's looking beautiful. Apologize if you hear that car alarm. But yes, I love this movie. The team up battle at the very end, you know, first with Iron Man and Thor, and Captain America versus Thanos. That was awesome as well. I was just like in my seat, just like, oh my god, what am I seeing right now? That's the type of reaction I should have gotten when I watched Justice League, but I didn't. And then when he said Avengers Assemble, when all the characters were there, and he said Avengers Assemble, finally, those two words I've been waiting since the first Avengers, he finally said it, and I just went nuts. I couldn't hold together. I felt like my soul just came out of my body. I was like, ah! It was nuts. It was crazy. And then you got that Disney moment with Robert Downey Jr. doing the snap. That scene will forever be iconic. I mean, the snap, that's a Disney snap. Me and my friends were talking about it. We're like, dude, Robert Downey Jr. he did the snap. That the most epic thing you could do in the movies now is do a snap, and it can completely change the cinematic universe. And Robert Downey Jr. he went out like a G, saved the whole universe, and now we have this new future of, you know, MCU heroes to look forward to. And so I thought the pressure to execute well, due to how Infinity War ended things, I thought you know, it exceeded so many people's expectations. Man, if Endgame flopped and it just was completely bad, critically shamed, it would have been, you know, embarrassing. But the fact that they even went up one with Infinity War, to me, I thought, you know, it's like you can't replicate that. You cannot. And so it's crazy how far Marvel has gone, and how they are able to just, like, you know, tie the bow with Avengers Endgame is just insane to me. So those are my lists. Again, I'm ranking Dark Phoenix as number 6, Captain Marvel as number 5, Shazam as number 4, Spider-Man Far From Home as number 3, and then you got Joker coming in number 2, and then Avengers Endgame coming in number 1. So that's my list. Let me know your guys' list in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.